FanDuel started offering those risk-free bets for a new account. That's why you can't use FanDuel on this phone or this phone. They had my IP address linked to 188 FanDuel accounts. They clipped my stuff. I had everybody and their mother making FanDuel accounts. I'd send them $1,000. She'd send me the login. I'd have to drive into New York. Free bet. How do you turn that $1,000 bonus funds into regular funds? All you have to do is play it. There was no stipulation. Auburn against Citadel, minus 48.5 points. You just put on Auburn money line, $1,000 to win 2 pennies. That game cashes, and then you could withdraw the $1,000. I started doing that. I turned a couple $1,000 into like 35, 40 grand.
Well, on today's episode of the DubCast podcast, we are welcoming on the man, the myth, the legend, Jayvee Picks.
Appreciate you having me out here,
dude.
Brother. Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you. One of the newest cappers on the platform, absolutely bursted onto the scene. Also, probably the most jack capper that we've had in the DubCast studio. So welcome, dude.
Thank you.
First time in Chi-Town?
Yes, first time.
Beautiful. Well, it's a pleasure having you. We got a fun day lined up, and I know our listeners are very excited for this episode.
Awesome.
We always just start these like diving into your background. How'd you get into the space? When did you start handicapping? Kind of tell us the origin story of the Jayvee Picks brand.
I started sports betting when I was 14.
Let's go.
First bet, $5 or $7 to win $5 on the Orlando Magic plus 5 when I was in high school. I didn't know anything about sports betting. Kid hit me up. He's like, "Yo, I'm a bookie. I'm taking action now. So if you want to bet any games," I'm like, "What's a bookie?" He lit it like an idiot. He had to sat there and for 30 minutes explain to me over text what he was doing. So I'm like, "Oh, I follow the NBA. I'll do $5 on this team." I thought the Orlando Magic were gonna win. They were underdogs. I didn't even know what plus 5 meant at the time, but whatever. So then they won outright. The next day, he gives me the $5 in school, and I thought it was like the coolest thing ever because like this was someone like 3 or 4 years older than me. I was a sophomore. And so, yeah, he just came up to me in the hallway, gave me $5. I'm like, why doesn't everyone do this? And so
started the career off 1-0.
Yeah, it started off absolutely as beginner's luck, 100%. Went that whole winter and actually ended up making like a couple $100.
$5 units.
$10.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't $5 units, dude. The more I made, whatever he owed me, I would just bet it all. So like, I would hit like a couple games in a row, and like he was gonna get set to give me like $50 on a Monday, and I'm like, well, just hold on to it. I'm gonna put $50 on Indiana college basketball tonight. I'll just ask other kids. Like kids followed sports more than I did. I'm like, what do you think of this? Who do you think's gonna win? Blah blah blah, and it was just luck in high school.
The ladder challenge before the ladder challenge was a thing, just rolling over your winnings one after another.
And then so, my junior year, I started flipping, or after that winter, sophomore year going into junior year of high school, I started selling shoes, got into Jordans, became a little sneakerhead. Took that money, and I'm like, I can now gamble this money. So, started betting bigger, betting more, made a huge bet on the Super Bowl my junior year. Bookie was leaving to go to college. He couldn't even pay me. I had like $500 on the side, $500 in the total, and then he had owed me money from a college basketball game like a week or two prior that I couldn't pay me. So like, it took him weeks for him to pay me, and I'm like, where am I supposed to bet now? And he's like, try Bovada. So he sent me to Bovada. I had someone make an account for me on Bovada, some dude I played basketball with who was older than 21, because I was like 15 at the time, and I had some friends in New York. Then I found out about Bet Online and like all these other sites. So I started putting money in all these different accounts. And I wouldn't even call it handicapping at that time. But I was doing some research and just really like focusing on what I was going to do. Actually started making a lot of money. And then turned my initial couple $100 that I deposited into a couple thousand, started betting much bigger than I should have, got lucky at first, turned those thousands into more thousands, and then in the Super Bowl, when the Carolina Panthers played the Denver Broncos,
yeah,
I had about 19,000 whatever total, 19,000 and change total to my name.
Yeah.
And it was all in these betting accounts. And I'm like, I want to make this a $20,000 bet total. So I borrowed a couple $100 from a friend, deposit into the account, so I had 20 grand on the dime to the $20,000 and 0 cents, all combined, all in Carolina Panthers on the Super Bowl. My friend, I was like, making my friends money all season long. I had them give me money I was putting in accounts. And I'm like, yo, we're doubling our money right here on the Super Bowl. Lost.
That's a hell of an origin story. That I know that's a painful way to go down, but that was just a start for you.
I'm not gonna lie, like, it wasn't painful at the time. Don't know why. I used to be much better with dealing with losses. I mean,
now they get you a little more worked up.
I was betting 20,000 before dudes were making 20,000 from their job.
Yeah, I mean those that's what was going to be my next question. Those $5 units quickly have risen to tens of thousands of dollars, and you're printing out, they're paper tickets going to the casino. People sometimes are wondering, okay, is this real? Is this fake? You are literally going to the casino and placing paper ticket bets of tens of thousands of dollars. How did you build this bankroll? How did you build this trust in yourself? Like, what was the path to getting there from starting at just a $5 unit better?
And I've always I love the cash tickets. I love going to the book. I love going to the casino. I don't like hanging around in the book because I just think a lot of losers hang out in the book or in the casino sometimes. But I love placing cash bets. I love picking up cash winnings. I hate betting online.
There's nothing better than getting paid out a big stack of cash like I've seen up and down your feed.
It's the best. Cash is the best betting by far. But it all started. I didn't start. Okay, so how did the bankroll really start? Bankroll started with ups and downs after that, after high school, into college. Like, was always just up and down. Like, always betting more than I should. Mm-hmm. Going on insane hot streaks and then inevitable cold streaks and losing it all on cold streaks. I could make money for 2 months straight and lose it all in 4 days.
Yeah.
And I just kept going through that. And at some point I had to stop, take a step back and realize, like, okay, what's working, what's not working, and why do I keep doing the things that are not working? And I'm getting the same results every single time. It's not good. So I could take this a million different ways. Where how the bankroll started was got an internship right after school. $488 a week was my paycheck from this internship. It was only supposed to be 6 weeks. The $488 a week went straight to my bank account. That would go straight into a FanDuel account. It wasn't even legal in the state I was in or the state next to me yet. So it was a couple states. It was in Jersey. Mm-hmm. I would have a girl. I would have it in her account, or I'd have it in my account, and she would give her the login. She'd log in. And every single day at this internship, I'm supposed to be like typing up real estate deals and like looking who's union, who's non-union. Like, I'm like looking at the hockey games. I'm capping college basketball. Like, I was like researching everything. First half points per game, points against. So long story short, I put that first $488 into a FanDuel account, and I take it slow. I'm like, okay, strongest bet of the day, I'm gonna do like $100 or $200. Mm-hmm. $25, $50 in the other bets, and just try to do that. So a couple days would go on, and this is when I really got into hockey. I was just started crushing hockey, and so I remember turning that 48 into 1,000, 1,000 into 2,000, and then slowly within like a month and a half, I had $10,000 in this FanDuel account, and that was like just like crazy to me because I was like, okay, like this is the closer to the way I think it's supposed to be done, not the way I've been doing it my entire life. I'm like, internship's over. Have no job. All I'm doing is betting. I'm like, I'll do like side hustle shit here and there. I've always been entrepreneurial. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, if I really want to, I've always wanted to get to the point where I'm betting $100,000 a game, $50,000 a game. Like, I wanted to make a lot of money betting sports. So how am I going to do this? This seems to be working a lot better, a lot less frustration, a lot less risk, and it just seems to be working out better in the long term. So let me continue to go down this route. And that's what I did. I kind of just like slowed it down. Then FanDuel started offering those risk-free bets. Yeah. For a new account. Mm-hmm. And that's why you can't use FanDuel on this phone or this phone. They had my IP address linked to 188 FanDuel accounts. They clipped my stuff. So I had everybody and their mother making FanDuel accounts. Yeah. I'd send them $1,000. They deposit, or I'd put it on the vanilla prepaid cards because you can't show. Some people I could send it to them if I really know them. Yeah. But I got friends of friends that are at random colleges getting people to make. Like, I'm not sending someone I don't even know, some chick who's just turned 21 to make a FanDuel account. So I'd put it on these Visa prepaids. She'd send me the login. I'd have to drive into New York or to New Jersey or have someone do it. free bet. Like, I'll throw in a parlay to win like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 grand.
Yeah.
Loses, they used to refund you in funds, not bets. So they'd
so
refund you
give you
$1,000 in
$1,000.
bonus funds. How do you turn that $1,000 bonus funds into regular funds? All you have to do is play it. There was no stipulations. You got a lot. You got Auburn against Citadel minus 48.5 points. You just put on Auburn money line, $1,000 to win 2 pennies. That game cashes, and then you could withdraw the $1,000. So I had started with a couple $1,000, and I just whatever used all these accounts. I probably only hit like 30-35%, and I would break people off $500, $1,000 per account. But I started doing that, and I turned a couple $1,000 into like 35, 40 grand. And so that was the initial real starting bankroll to my taking sports betting professionally. 35, 40 grand from running it up off of parlays.
That's incredible. To say you're entrepreneurial is an understatement.
It was a real hustle, man. I'm driving all over, man. I must have been to every CVS and 7-Eleven in the tri-state area.
Like, why does this guy keep getting these prepaid cards? Something that you hit on there, obviously, working the system is one contributor to being limited or unable to bet with certain books. In our conversation, our introduction call, you had talked about 4, 5, 6 books having shut down your action due to the high volume and high winning percentage. That's always the sign of an incredibly sharp handicapper. Where are you actually allowed to bet these days?
Yeah, so right now I'm primarily betting on stake, which I don't like. I'm not going to lie, I'm not big into the crypto stuff. Mm-hmm. I know people that are millionaires off of crypto, and I have a lot of friends that are much more into. I ask them every single day, how do I swap Bitcoin for Ethereum and send it to this wallet? Like, I don't know how to do all this shit, bro. It's like I'm a boomer kind of. I don't really care about crypto. But so that's what I had to use. So I primarily use stake right now. I've burned through 4 accounts because they will limit you and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm on my 5th stake account right now. Germany VPN, FanDuel banned, DraftKings banned. Fanatics, I can bet in person, but I'm banned from having an account on the app.
Yeah.
And the 2 casinos, so the 2 casinos in my state, one I'm completely banned from the casino and the sportsbook. The other one I'm only banned from the sportsbook, not the casino.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy, dude. Like I said, that's obviously the sign of somebody who's incredibly sharp. Let's dive into how you've gotten to where you are on the handicapping side of things. Tell us about your daily processes, routines. You don't have to give away all the secrets to how you've managed to become so profitable, but what is the part of the recipe or science behind your ability to beat the books as bad as you do?
I think for anybody, it's absolutely number one most important thing is mindset. Because no one wins every day. And so I've had to endure major losing streaks in order to get to my most profitable weeks or months, right? Like in the start of June, I made several videos about this, but I made $208,000 in 8 days in June. And in the month of March, I was on a culture, I lost $100,000 in March. Cash at the Hard Rock in Miami. I was down there for a full month, grinding it out for a full month. It was like 4 or 5 weeks. Ended up down like $100,000. March was a bad month. And then in 8 days in June, things go the other way, $200,000 in 8 days.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny because I had a lot of clients, like all my clients in June, after that 8 days, you're the man, you're the best, you're the GOAT, blah, blah, blah. Clients in March, man, you suck, blah, 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 this, that,
yeah.
You're the worst. So a lot of people quit. If I had quit after having a bad month, I would have never hit the ups, right?
Absolutely.
It's never a straight line from here to here.
Mm-hmm.
It's always ups, downs, ups, downs, ups, downs. And so I lost some clients during that cold streak in March that, if they stuck around, would be way more up now than they were.
Absolutely.
So that's, I think, the number one thing that I've had to come around to. And a good way to really comprehend that, maybe just for me, but you have to look at it visually. So when I look at my bets on a graph and you zoom out, everyone always, yesterday we lost. Like if you look at everything on such a short time scale, we lost yesterday, we lost the day before. Oh, this sucks. If we don't lose today, I don't know. If we don't win today, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like pull back and look at everything. Look at the past 4 weeks. Look at the past 3 months. Look at the past 6 months. When you look at it on a graph, I remember that low point, that sucked. Win streak, losing streak, hot streak, cold streak, hot streak. But look where we are now and look where we were then.
100%. It's like the stock market. You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs. But, historically, every the S&P 500 is up and to the right for a reason, and you're playing the same game, just a different sport.
Yeah, and I used to be like that. I really did have that short-term mindset where when I first started in 2022, selling my plays, because I've obviously always been betting, but people didn't start asking for them until 22. So that's when I started selling them. I remember I had 3 days in a row where we lost. It was like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And the Friday came around, and I'm like, if I don't have a profitable day today, I'm like, I might lose my business forever. Like, this is my mindset. I was still so short-term thinking. I'm like, my business is going to be gone forever. Like, no one's going to trust me, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, the only way to truly get through all that stuff is you have to look at the long term. And that's what I try to convince people. And I think I want to invest more time and effort into making more content to help people look at the long term.
Yeah.
Because I want them to have the same mindset that I have. Because I want them to win just like I win. And I want them to be confident in our plays just like I am. And I want them not to worry about a cold streak like I don't. And I want them to not get too excited about a win streak like I don't.
That's some wise words right there. I think that absolutely that should be a content lane for you. And I think that it's just going to benefit everybody, every client that you have.
Yeah.
You've mentioned college basketball a couple times. Obviously, you've been crushing college football. When a Saturday rolls around and you're looking at a board of 100, 150 games, where do you even start finding value, looking for spots, building that slate out, essentially?
It starts probably 6, 7 a.m. with Adderall and coffee on Saturdays. College basketball Saturdays are crazy. That's like, I feel like I'm at my desk. I'm between my desk and the sportsbook. Or if I'm not going to a sportsbook that day, I'm at my desk for what feels like 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So handicapping games, if we're talking about college basketball, I start just by making my own lines. So I'll print out all the games, and I'll make my own lines for every single game. Not what I think Vegas is going to make the lines, because it's all about perception, right? Vegas, obviously, some people say there aren't trap lines. There obviously are trap lines. Vegas makes the lines based off of what people perceive the line should be. Mm-hmm. And the public always perceives the good teams to be better than they are, the bad teams to be worse than they are, when in reality they're much closer. So I'll make my lines on what I think the game should be, not taking into account. This is pretty much for all sports, not just college basketball.
Yep.
So I'll make lines on what I think the game should be without looking at the actual lines. And this isn't taking into consideration injuries, weather, umpires, referees, or any systems I have on it. So I'm making just what I think the true line should be. Then I'll compare them to the lines that they actually are. Then I used to have I still have it, a notebook, but I don't use it anymore. I have a notebook with all my systems in it. So in 2022, I've reached out to someone who was a pro and paid them all the money I had, because I'm like, I need to learn how to do this the right way.
Yeah.
They told me about professional sports betting systems, what they are, how they work, how you can make them, how you can find them, how you use software to make things easier for you. So I learned about systems, and it's pretty much a factor of things when, I gave one out for free on my Instagram story the other day. And we could give one out on here for free too. So, all right, I'll pull it up right now. But it's essentially a factor of things that when all checked off, have a winning percentage of this and a long-term ROI percentage of this. And it's backed off of 15 to 25 years of against the spread data. All right. So there's simple ones and there's complex ones. I don't have that many. These pros have tons and tons and tons of systems. I'm kind of building my array of systems. But so after I handicap the games, I'll look at my lines against the lines that Vegas has. Then I'll go right into my systems. I used to use a notebook. Now I load up the software that just picks all the games that, okay, you have these systems match up for this game for this team. And so here's just one simple system, all right? So this is for college football. It only has one factor. With an average wind speed during the game of 13 to 15 miles an hour, total for the game goes under 57.5% of the time. Very, 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 very simple, all right? Now we'll have another one. When the average wind speed is 14 miles an hour or more, no in between, 14 miles an hour minimum or more, and the temperature is 60 degrees or less, that total for that game, college football, will go under 60.7% of the time over the last 25 years, blindly. If you bet that blindly, 60.7% of the time.
And probably in a sample size of literally thousands and thousands of games.
And these work, I bought one of my cars, I bought my BMW from just 2 weekends of college football unders last year. College football unders with the weather is crazy.
I'm going to be checking the weather report here pretty soon for this upcoming weekend.
If you're betting totals in baseball or totals in college football and NFL, the first thing I think of or look at is the weather. If I'm going looking to place it, like I don't understand how people, especially sports handicappers or people that do it for real, could place a bet on a football game or a baseball game without knowing exactly what the weather is going to be like.
I remember last year in the NFL, I think when there was greater than 17 miles an hour of winds, the under was hitting at like 74% throughout the course of, a smaller sample size in that system. But it's such a great point by you, and it's something that's so often overlooked.
Absolutely. And a great kind of way to take advantage of that is you'll have two teams that, especially early in the season where the weather's nice, two teams that have really good offenses, and they're bombing touchdowns left and right all day long. They're scoring 30, 40, 50 points each. Then these two teams come and play each other, and they're playing now in November or December when it's a lot colder, and there's winds of 18, 19, 20 mile an hour winds. You're not throwing the ball as far down the field with guys they're not scoring these. So the Vegas public isn't thinking about the weather. Mm-hmm. They're looking at these two teams and they're like, oh, this game's going to be 80 points scored in this game. It's going to be nuts, right? So the total will come out at like 67, 68, 69, 70. And it'll drop 4 points because sharps are slamming it because they know the weather and the public doesn't.
Yeah.
And that game will go under.
There's a reason that you've had the success that you have had thus far and will continue to have, and it's a result of having that type of insider knowledge and expertise and thinking about things that somebody like myself who's not nearly as profitable as you are is not thinking about. We could talk literally all day long about your style and approach. We got a game to catch later today. What I want to do is talk about your favorite cash and your worst beat. Those are two things that
my favorite cash and my worst beat.
I imagine there's some good stories involved there.
My favorite cash. That's a tough one, man. Favorite cash. I feel like everybody has a story of they went huge one time on this game and it cashed, and it was like, I don't know. I've been really trying to be disciplined about everything lately. Favorite cash. I could tell you about a bad beat I had. I could tell you a million bad beats.
Yeah. You remember all the bad beats. You
Absolutely.
don't remember the $25,000 tickets that I've seen you hit.
We had literally, because, if they win, I don't know. I think loss is when you get to a point that I'm not going to say the money was always the number one driver for me to bet sports. Mm-hmm. But I think maybe I've gotten to a point where it's more about the competitiveness of winning rather than actually winning or losing the dollar amount. I feel no joy when I win a $10,000 ticket, but I'll be pissed if I lose a $10,000 ticket. And not because I can't live without the money. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I don't know 100%. What it is.
I
don't know what it is.
It's the competitor in you.
Yeah. But so when I was in Vegas in August, we had the Yankees White Sox under. This was like a 1.5 unit play. I had 25,000 on the game or something. And it was cruising under the whole way. Low scoring. We had 8.5 or 9. I think it was 8.5. And 8th inning comes around. The score might be 3-2 or 4-2. 8th inning comes around. Some idiot gets walked. Some idiot gets on base. And then Judge decides to hit his 300th home run. That was that game.
Oh, boy.
And the Yankees ended up scoring 4 runs in the 8th or 5 runs in something like that.
I remember seeing that on Bad Beats. That's me. That's me.
That was me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, like you said, a true competitor hates losing more than winning, and that's a very cliche statement, but you fit the mold of that exact competitor profile.
Yeah. So, best cash, man. I hit a parlay, but no, that's not even cool. I hit this was probably the highest odds parlay I've ever hit. I put $50 on a parlay into 15,000. So it was just, I remember because I had to pay taxes on it. So it was just over that plus 30,000 odds.
Yeah, yeah.
So $50 into 15,000. That was college basketball and baseball in 22 or 23? 22. That was spring of 22. And What's a crazy win? Oh. Let me show you. I want to know. I want to get the exact dollar amount. I hit something. Do you think it's bad that I can't just rattle off my top cash?
No, I don't think so. Okay. I think that's a sign that there's plenty of them.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like nothing sticks out of my head for best wins. But
well, what I want to do is I want you to cook up another 50 to win 15 grand tonight.
So let's do it. Let's hit
when we hit the Cubbies game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Jay, it's a pleasure having you on, dude. And like I said, we could chop it up all day long, but we got a game to catch. We want this to be one of many episodes in the crazy series of your story and your come up and really just who you are as an individual. So appreciate you coming on, and it's great having you out.
No, I appreciate you guys having me out here, man. Thank you. Shout out to Chicago. A lot nicer than New York.
I live in New York, and I completely agree with that.
New York's down the drain, been down the drain. I used to be a big New York. I went to school in New York City. I used to love New York City. Wanted to live there, but I would definitely come back out here again. It's pretty nice down here.
Good. We got the full tour lined up for you today, and are rolling out the red carpet. Let's turn it into a profitable day as well.
Yes, let's do it. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.